Nick Brown had a day to remember as he became just the 10th Essex batsman to carry his bat through an innings as he secured his maiden first-class 100. But it's Derbyshire who have the edge going into the final day of the LV County Championship match in Chesterfield. Essex began the penultimate day on 202 for 5, 73 runs behind their hosts, and all eyes were on Brown at the start of the morning session. He was already at his career best of 86 and now needed 14 more to complete a maiden 100 after rain had prevented him from getting there on the previous evening. This was the moment he will remember forever. A dab into the leg side took him to his exceptional century, and he was celebrating the moment he put bat to ball, and those celebrations deservedly went on for a while. He'd scored not far from 50% of his side's runs, getting to his 100 off 261 balls, from which he'd struck 16 fours. All that he cared about was that he had done it. And it was a good job too, as Essex lost their last 5 wickets quickly after Greg Smith nicked Tony Palladino behind to fall for 32. Tom Taylor then trapped Graham Napier in front for 2, with Essex still 29 runs behind. Palladino delivered an excellent spell against his former county with the second new ball. He had Tim Phillips fishing and edging to Gareth Cross, before he also removed Tom Moore in his next over, and then Reece Topley, who was held by Wayne Madsen. Essex were all out for 277, with Brown becoming the first Essex man since John Stevenson to bat through an innings, and that was 22 years ago in Taunton. He later admitted that his parents, who were at the ground, were left with tears in their eyes. So Derbyshire went back into bat, trailing by just 2 runs, but before that deficit had been removed, Paul Borrington was LBW for a golden duck to Napier in the first over. There had been a flurry of wickets in the morning, with only Brown making life look easy, as he ended his innings, incidentally, on 132. How Ben Slater or Madsen would have liked to have matched that effort. With Wes Durston still recovering from the nasty blow on the head he got from Napier just after tea on the first day, it was important that these two now didn't open the door to Essex. When you are struggling, as Derbyshire have been this season, it's moments like this when things start to go horribly wrong, but both these batsmen kept their heads, settled in, and removed the threat from the visiting attack. Essex may have thought that a few early wickets would put their hosts under some pressure, but those wickets weren't forthcoming, as both Slater, playing at his home ground, and Madsen, who made an excellent 90 in the first innings, played very well in putting on a stand of 125 in 35 untroubled overs. Both men made 50s. Madsen's second of the match came off 81 balls and contained 7 fours. His form in this game will certainly please his county, as he's waited a little too long to make the most of his talents this summer. For Slater, this was a nice moment. This is his first match of the season, coming in after the sudden retirement of Stephen Moore. The left-hander had used up 114 deliveries for what was just the 5th half-century of his career, a career which is only into its 17th match. That was his 8th boundary. These two had started to put their side on top as they took their stand to 125 to put their team 124 runs to the good. And the partnership was only ended in the most unfortunate of circumstances, Slater slipping as he turned for a second run, leaving Madsen no option but to turn back, something he failed to do as he was unluckily on his way for 59. It was a moment which obviously upset Slater's concentration, and just 4 overs later, the 22-year-old local lad nicked a ball off Phillips, giving James Foster a simple enough catch. That gave Phillips his first wicket of the championship season, sending Slater on his way for 60. It was now left to a much more experienced left-hander in the form of Shivnarine Chanderpaul to make the most of the good work from both Slater and Madsen. And the West Indian legend was not about to let his side down. He especially enjoyed the bowling of Phillips, the man who was preferred in this Essex team to Monty Panesar, who may have heard Raoul Dravid at the Test match saying just how much he's respected by the Indians. It was Phillips, though, who earned his second wicket when he trapped Alex Hughes in front on the sweep. Hughes was out for 12 with a total on 177 and the lead at 175. 5 runs later, Cross dragged a wide ball from Topley back onto his stumps. But Chanderpaul saw out the remaining overs and went to the 50 mark for the 191st time in his remarkable and very long career, which next year will be celebrating a quarter of a century. This 50 had occupied 76 balls, from which Chanderpaul had found the boundary on 6 occasions. He is an extraordinary cricketer. He was well supported by David Wainwright before stumps were drawn, these two ensuring that those 2 wickets in quick succession hadn't let the visitors right back in. Wainwright worked the ball to leg well to end the day on 30, with Chanderpaul making 62. That leaves him 38 more runs to get to 100 for the 70th time in his career. He should just about have enough time to do that, as Derbyshire will start the final day on 237 for 5, which puts them 235 runs ahead. They'll need a few more before setting Essex a target on what could be an exciting final couple of sessions.